from Stels Crafty Creations here. Thank you for joining me today. Just a little podcast to get myself back out on YouTube, get my channel going again. I was here 3 years ago. I was doing regular podcasts, but then life happened, got in the way, we were busy with other things. But now we're here, and I really want to be able to share the things that I'm making. I do have a little shop, sort of setting up my own little kind of side project with making my things. So I just thought I'd pop on, share everything what I've been doing this month throughout January, show you my whips that I've got. I've also got 2 acquisitions this month that I want to show you as well. So let's just get cracking, let's just get stuck in. If I seem a little awkward, I'm very much out of practice with this. As I say, it's been 3 years since I've last recorded, so it is a little bit I just need to get over my nerves, just get stuck right in, just show you what I've been doing, because I love watching other people's podcasts, and I just really want to be able to share my stuff with you all as well. Okay, so to start with then, here is the pile of what I've been working on through January. This stuff here is all little bits and pieces that I've made for my Etsy shop. I'm also on eBay. I do have a website, so I'll link all of that in the description below. I'll also pop up a slide at the end of the podcast with all the places where you can find me as well. So to start with then, we've got this beautiful knit beanie chunky hat. This is if you see me looking up, I've just got my computer monitor just behind my phone. So this is the Biggie Braids beanie. It is a free pattern on Ravelry by Taylor LaRocco. So this is what I've got. It's got a made with love tag. I used good old-fashioned super chunky yarn in the colourway. Let me find that out for you. Now I know it doesn't have a colour name, but it does have a number. So that is the tag there, and it's colour number 5. So it's really soft, really squishy. Popped on this fake fur pom-pom, and it is also completely detachable. A little button there you can just unhook it from, so you can just pop this in your machine and there's no worries of the pom-pom being spoiled. So that's the first one. It's adult size medium. Fits me really nice. I tried it on myself to take some pictures and things. So that's the first item that I've got there that I've made. The second one that I've made this month is a kind of really super chunky moss stitch or seed stitch cowl. Again, I popped a little made with love tag on. This was a free pattern from the Knitting Network website. I think I have it here actually. So it is this pattern here, Woman's Weekly Moss Stitch Cowl. So the yarn that I used for this was 4 strands held together. 5 strands, sorry, held together. So I had 3 strands of some DK. Now it is a DK yarn, but it's more on the thinner side of a DK, so maybe more like a sport weight. So I held 3 strands of that. It's like a dusky pink with some glitter, and if you can see the sparkle there in the yarn. And also I held 2 strands of a mohair style yarn. It's not mohair because it's not animal fibres, it is all man-made. It's called Oh My Fluff, from a craft shop here in the UK, Hobbycraft, very similar to like Michael's, Hobby Lobby, those kinds of things that you have sort of, you know, elsewhere in the world. But yeah, it gives that extra fluff and halo, and if you can see that there, just like you would get with a mohair or an alpaca strand of yarn, but it doesn't hasn't got that kind of allergy factor. If anyone's sensitive or allergic to animal fibres, this is lovely. I've tried it on. I can't wear alpaca or mohair. I just find it so itchy and uncomfortable, but this, I could wear this all day long. So that's the second thing that I've made. The next thing is a set. It's a baby set, because I do love doing baby knitting. So I'm doing a mixture of sort of adult things, baby things, toddler things, household accessories, all the different things. So this is a little set. It's a textured cardigan. There we go. Up close you can see that texture there on the bottom. And it's got these beautiful mother of pearl style buttons. And it's got a handmade with love tag. We've got some texture on the sleeves and some lemon as well. And that's the back. So this comes in size 0 to 6 months, I think it is. And I've also made a matching hat as well. Just so it's a really cute little set. There we go. It's all from sort of DK scraps. I think it's a mixture of Stylecraft and also Stylecraft and I forget the name of the other brand. I think it was Stylecraft and Emu DK, which I will link everything below and where you can find all these yarns. So those are just some really good scraps that I had. Well, I say scraps, there was enough to put this cardigan together, and I still have enough left to do something else with. So that cardigan, actually I can tell you how much that cardigan used out of my stash. So for the first hat, the Biggie Braids beanie, I used 66 grams of yarn. The chunky moss stitch cowl I used 136, and the textured baby cardigan was 73, and the hat was 15. So that was a good amount out of my stash for those. So my next item that I made this month is this lovely headband or ear warmer. The name of this is the Quartz Headband by Morella Moments. It's a free pattern on Ravelry. So I made this using some chunky yarn that was given to me. There wasn't a label with it, but it is super soft. It is 100% acrylic, but as I say, it's really soft, really squishy. We've got the handmade with love tag there. Just your classic kind of headband with the cabled twist there. And those are the colours around the back. So yeah, just a lovely squishy warm headband. So that actually used 46 grams, so that was really cool on that one. The next headband I've got is this one. This is the grain headband. Now this was used using Robin Super Chunky yarn. Again, it was gifted to me, but it was Robin Super Chunky in the pink multicolourway, and they're 54 grams. So this one is called the Grain Headband, and this is by Morella Moments again. She has lots of free patterns on Ravelry. I will link my Ravelry pages below so you can pop on and see where all these patterns are, where you can get them from. And that one's also got a little tag too. And this is like really super squishy and soft, and it's a lovely slip stitch design on there. So that's that one. Then we have another baby cardigan. Now this one I didn't follow a pattern for. When I made this cardigan for myself a few years back, I did watch a tutorial on YouTube, so I just followed that tutorial again. But this is a granny hexicardi, but in baby size. So this is size, coming out in size, let me just pull that up there to make sure I give you the right information. So this is size 3 to 6 months. And it is actually used in the pink Sparkle DK, which is one of the strands of yarn that I used for the chunky cowl. And then we have got some, if you can see it there, handmade with love buttons, just 3 little buttons, nice and simple, really soft. So we have that little cardigan, which is just absolutely adorable. And then the next thing I've made, which is a bit more recent make, this was last week, is this lovely CC style boulder beanie, knit using Starcraft Softy Chunky in the raspberry colourway. And this really is super soft, super squishy. When I bought the yarn, it came as a hat set, so the pom-pom came with it, which I bought a couple of years back from Yarndale Fibre Festival at Yorkshire, from Black Sheep Wool's stands that they had there. But these style pom-poms are readily available in lots of places online. It's a nice big chunky pom-pom, and with this particular pom-pom you've got ribbon, so you can take it off when you want to wash your hat. Nice little made with love tag there. I've tried it on, it's super comfy, really soft. This is adult size medium. This is also a free pattern on Ravelry by In Stitches, I believe it's called, yeah. So that's that one. And finally, the last thing I've made for this month is another headband or ear warmer, and it's this Mountain Peak headband by Mary LeBlanc on Ravelry. It's a free pattern. So this was using a strand of, I think it was Rose's Moments 100% merino fingering weight, in like a kind of like a tonal grey, and I held a strand of the Oh My Fluff yarn from Hobbycraft with this. I actually split the fingering weight yarn into 2, so I was holding that double, and then I had, I think it was, yeah, just one or 2 strands of the fluff, just to give it that extra warmth, squishiness, and softness. And you can see there, I think you can see, there we go, there's a little bit of a halo. Nice little tag. So this is just in that moss stitch or seed stitch textured pattern. It's not one of my favourite knit stitches to do, but I really like the finished look when it's all done. So that is my making for January. So there we are, a nice little pile of what I've made. As I say, they are all kind of for my Etsy shop. They are all listed. I'm having a shop update on my website tomorrow at 12 noon British time. What's it called? Greenwich Mean Time in the winter, because our clocks haven't changed yet. That'll be in March. So that's my finished whips for January. So we'll move on to whips, and I'll show you. I've got 2 things that I'm working on for the shop, and then 3 whips that are sort of my own projects that I'm just working my way through. So we'll do the shop ones first. So this one is my newest new project, and it's going to be another baby granny hexie. So we've got 2 hexies that I started yesterday. I'm doing each of the side panels in tandem, because I am using, this was a cake of yarn, a Papatia, the cakes, 150 gram DK cakes that they do. I will pop up a picture of what it looked like in the cake, because I wanted each side of the cardigan to be identical. So the few evenings ago, I wound off each colour, snipped them individually, so I've got all the colours sort of balled up by themselves. So I will do each side panel in the same colours, same amount of rows, just so as we've got a nice even kind of symmetrical look on both sides. I think that's one of the beauties about working from cakes. You can just go straight off, and you know, you can just work with it as it comes, or you can kind of manage the yarn a bit and separate it off. It's completely your choice. There's 150 grams to this ball. I've got the label here. So that's the ball band, Papatia cake, and the colour is 220. I did try to have a look this morning and see if there's actually a name, but I think they just number their colours. So it's 100% acrylic, but it is very soft, and I will also give it a soak in some wool wash as well, just to soften it up a little bit more. 150 grams, 540 meters or 590 yards per cake of yarn. It's the first time I've used a Papatia cake yarn, and it's actually really, really nice to use. I am using a 4mm hook. This is actually an interchangeable set, but it also lights up as well. I was gifted this by my sister, and it kind of lights up. So when you put your hook in, you can see there you got bright. No, it's not shining too bright at the minute because the sun's coming. I've got a big window right in front of me here. First time using this kind of crochet hook, and I really enjoyed it yesterday. So hopefully I'll just do all of my projects with this. Got all the little interchangeable the hook heads. So we've got all these little individual ones. There we go. So that's the hook that I'm using for this. I am holding it all in this really cute watermelon project bag that we had. Me and my sister went to a yarn show I can't remember if it was the Staffordshire Wool Gathering or the Birmingham Wool Show last year, and just for a donation of £3 you got these really cute bags. So of course we snapped it up, why wouldn't you, for £3? Perfect. So that's that one. Then the next one for my shop, it's almost finished. I've just started the sleeve. I've done the back and the front because they're all done in one piece up to the armholes, and then you separate. It is a beautiful baby cardigan. It is a free pattern on Ravelry. So the pattern is the Blossom baby cardigan. Okay, gorgeous, gorgeous lace design. I'm doing the first size, which is 0 to 3 months. The yarn that I'm using is good old-fashioned DK Glittery, and this is colour number 39, but it's like kind of like a off-white, and it's got, I don't know if you can see there, sparkles, and the sparkle thread is like a multicoloured sparkle thread. Really pretty. First time using this yarn, really soft, really impressed with it. So I'll show you what I have done so far. So that is the first sleeve with the lace design at the bottom. So I'm just doing some sleeve increases. And then what I have done so far, okay, so there's the back, and we have a front there, and we have another one. But just look how beautiful that lace is. So once I've steamed this and soaked it and pinned it all out, that lace is just going to really open up, and it's going to be so pretty. And it is like, as I say, it's like kind of like an off-white kind of colour, creamy colour, with this multicoloured kind of sparkle thread through it. I have actually got the buttons that I'm going to use. They're like kind of mother of pearl effect, like these little hearts. You just do 3 little buttons down the front for the first size, which is the one that I'm doing. The size needle that I am using is, whoops-a-daisies, a 4mm. I am using old-fashioned straight needles purely because there was a lot of stitches on here, because you got the back and the fronts together until you split for the fronts, or up until the armholes, and all of my 4mm interchangeables are being used for different things. So we had to go digging deep into my bag of like retro needles, and it's been quite nice actually, something a bit different. So that is my second whip that I've want to share with you. So that will be finished hopefully in the next week or so, I would imagine. We've done that one. Okay, so these are like my own projects that I'm working on now. So this is in a bag that I made myself. Just some really cool funky fabric from Hobbycraft. These are a pair of socks for my husband. String of Lights by Sock Witchery. So the yarn that I'm using is some Stylecraft head over heels sock yarn. It was from the Show Your Pride collection from quite a few years ago. This has been in my stash for a while. The shade is 1018 and the name is BU. So this is what we have so far. So there is the yarn. Okay. Sorry for the lighting, the sun's in and out all day. I think a lot of people have trouble with the lighting at this time of year, don't they? So this is what we have so far. How cool is that? So I'm doing cast on 64 stitches on a 2.5mm needle, 9-inch circular. It's a Chowgo 9-inch circular that I'm using. So that's the little bit of progress we've done this year so far. Well, not this year, sorry, this week I should say. So I use these little light bulb stitch markers to mark. That one there is where the sock, like the leg of the sock started after the ribbon. And I mark every 10 rows. Now usually I would do a heel flap and gusset, but because I don't want to disturb the stripes of this, so I'm going to do an afterthought heel. So I'll be able to cut in right where the red meets the purple, so it won't disturb those stripes. I think I'm going to use some natural undyed yarn just to give it that little pop of brightness. 2x2 rib for the cuff. What else to say about this? Nothing really. I just need to crack on and get them done, because these were one of my 12 days of Christmas cast-ons, which I've since not casted on 12 things, which is a make-along ran by Ange from Yarn and Yarns podcast here on YouTube. She's also on Instagram. I'll link her below. It's basically a make-along where from the 26th of December to the end of January, you can cast on 12 projects. It can be knitting, it can be crochet, it can be sewing, it can be spinning. And it's basically a make-along to get us set up for the year, for the weeks, for the months of our knitting projects that we want to do, but we might not get round to casting on for whatever reason. I think I got to project number 6 and I was a bit like, oh, that's a lot. I don't know if I can do any more. So I did actually undo a few, rip them out. And I've just stuck with what I feel comfortable working on and what I know is an okay amount for me. So this was one of them. So not that much progress really, but when you think I've made the other items through January, and I've got 2 other whips there as well, I'm not bothered. He's in no rush for them. He's got plenty of socks, and he always says to me, there's no rush, just whenever, you know, like. So that's his sock, and most of the time I do string of lights for him because it's like a broken kind of ribbed pattern. I think it kind of hugs his leg because he's got thin ankles, thin feet, so it kind of really works for him. So that's another whip there to show you. Hopefully I can get some really good progress on that over the next couple of weeks. What I try and do is do kind of like my shop stuff in the day and then my own stuff at night when we're kind of sitting watching TV or anything like that. So this next project is a pair of socks for myself. This is in a bag made by my very talented sister. She's definitely the sewist out of both of us. I dabble, but I'm not a sewist. I do have a machine and I've got fat quarters and all the things, but yeah, she's definitely the sewist, not me. So these are a pair of socks, just a pair of kind of vanilla shorties. I am using some Drops Delight yarn, which I think, because this yarn has been in my stash since 2020, I think. It's actually discontinued now, this yarn is. So that's the label, Drops Delight, in the colour number 12, which is like this really cool kind of rainbow yarn. It is, I think it looks like it's a 2-ply or a single ply yarn. It is sock yarn. It's 75-25. So even if I just wear them around the house, kind of in my slippers, that's fine for me. So I'm holding the 50-gram balls. So that's the cake of the first one. That's what I'm working from. Little yarn cozy. And I've also using a little needle holder. This was from Pickle Lily. She's on Etsy and Facebook, I think. I'm actually doing these on DPNs, which is something quite unusual for me, but I just fancied a change. So I'm using a 2.5mm. These are, if you can see that there, not very well, Knit Pro DPNs. So this is what we have so far. It does look brighter kind of in real life, but we've started with some deep purple. So yes, it's just a nice easy knit, 2x2 rib for 15 rounds, and then I think I'm just going to do, I don't know, 20-30 rounds for the leg, just like a shorty, like an ankle sock rather than like a full length sock. So that's what we have so far on this. I've done the first 10 rows. Again, I'm using my little light bulb stitch markers. I've actually got no progress keeper on this. I need to put one on. Yep, so that's that. Again, I'm not in a rush for these. I have got a lot of socks. I started sock knitting I learnt how to make socks in 2018. Myself and my sister used to go to a knitting group at the local craft shop, and there was a couple of ladies there that were well-established sock knitters, and it kind of inspired us to have a go at sock knitting. My sister just kind of took to it like a duck to water, but it took me a little bit longer to get my head around the whole sock knitting. Needless to say, we had a few projects go up the walls with frustration. But once it kind of clicked, it was fine. And then I just kind of fell off the sock train and didn't do any for about, well, till 2021. I came across Kay from the Crazy Sock Lady, her YouTube channel. And of course, she inspired me to get my needles back out, which is what I did. And the rest is history, as they say. So my last whip that I've got that I'd like to share with you is living in this bag, which this is a bag I made myself. It is a crochet project and it's a cardigan. We have done the back so far, which I'll show you. So this is a cardigan using a tutorial on YouTube by Amora Loves Yarn. I'll link her channel below. She's got some amazing tutorials on there for different cardigans. This is just a basic kind of customizable double crochet, easy peasy, kind of that mindless crochet cardigan, but she explains and goes through everything so clearly in a way that's easy to understand on how you can customize it for yourself. She gives you like the maths that you need to do to work out different parts. So we've got the back. Well, first of all, I'll show you the yarn. So I'm using this King Cole Big Value Chunky. Really soft. Even though it's acrylic yarn, it doesn't have that kind of plastic feel that some acrylic yarns do. It's in Dusky Pink, which is shade 639. Really, it's an inexpensive yarn. I think when I last checked it was around £2.49 a ball for 100 grams. And with the beauty with this is you can just pop it in your machine as well, and nothing's going to happen to it. So, which is the front, right? So there we go. There is the back. Now, obviously you work in rows that way, but actually when you put the cardigan together and you seam the pieces, the rows go vertical, not horizontal, so you kind of turn your square around. So that's my back piece so far. I think I crocheted a chain of 70 to start on an 8mm hook plus 2, and then I switched it out to a 7mm hook for like the actual crocheting part, just because my crochet chains always seem to come up a bit tight, and it's also what Amora does recommend in her tutorial as well. So I always try and like to stick to the instructions as much as I can. So that's what I've got so far. So that's the back, and we've started the first front panel. So you'll wear it this way. I've got this really cute little clay stitch marker on there, and the stitch marker I have on my back piece is a really cute little star. I think those were in like little mystery gift sets that we've picked up at different craft shows that we've been to. So that's my cardigan. I'm just really enjoying the crochet, to be honest. I'm not a massive crocheter. I always do tend to lean towards knitting, but that is just, I don't know, it's just making me very happy. So that's my cardigan on there. And the beauty with that is because I'm writing out my kind of numbers for what's going to fit me, you can change your stitch that you're crocheting, can't you? You can do anything you want, which brings me on to the next part, which is acquisitions. But before then, we're going to take a sip of water. Remember to stay hydrated, folks. So we've got 2 acquisitions. So the first one is just kind of following on from the back of what I was saying about you can do different stitch patterns for this cardigan, and I picked up these. So these are the Bella Coco crochet stitch card deck. Absolutely brilliant set. Inside, picked them up from Amazon. I think they were about £12 or £13 a set. So you've got this really cute little booklet. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry about the lighting. This really cute little booklet, and it just gives you like there's a little section about Sarah Jane. It gives you like instructions for basic stitches, what abbreviations mean. A really cute little bit there. Then there's a little kind of pamphlet about Sarah Jane's book, and then we have the cards here. So there's kind of 2 kinds of stitches included in the book. So we've got like basic stitches, and then there's also textured stitches. So just quickly, we've got like the granny square, we have a block stitch, so those are from the simple stitch combinations, and the textured ones we've got like cobble stitch, basket weave, crocodile stitch. There's loads, absolutely loads. There's 52 cards altogether. As I say, it was only about £12 or £13 off Amazon. Not very expensive at all. So I'm looking forward to trying some different stitches for my next crochet cardigan, just to see, you know, what you can play around with. Comes in a really cute little box. Got the stitch design. I do want to have a go at this ripple stitch here in a cardigan, but doing it the way that I'm doing this one, where you then turn your piece so the kind of the rows are vertical, so the cardigan would essentially be like this rather than like that, because they always say, don't they, that vertical stripes are much more flattering on a body than horizontal stripes. So that is hopefully, well, yes, it will be a project of mine that I want to do. And my last acquisition that I've got is some yarn. I mean, as you can see from the background, and I've got another cupboard here just to my side. I don't need any, but it was too good of an offer to miss and turn my nose up at it. So I have bought 10 skeins of this beautiful, beautiful, good old-fashioned DK Funky Prints yarn. So you've got 5 skeins in each pack. I've got 2 packs. I bought it from the Wool Factory online, and it was £1.50 a skein. So for a quantity to do a granny stripe cardigan, which is another Amora Loves yarn tutorial, it will have only cost me £15. Now, for somebody that's a plus size in clothes, sometimes it can be a bit more expensive for those plus sizes. So £15 for a handmade cardigan that I can wear and wash and wear and wash is going to be amazing. So I just love those kind of teals and oranges together. Sorry about the glare. So we've got 2 packs of that. That came the other day. That will be started soon, along with my ripple stitch cardigan. So I think that's everything for kind of yarny crafts kind of talk today. So yeah, I've been away for 3 years. I've still been crafting in the background, but maybe you're wondering where I've been, what I've been up to or not. So I basically in 2013, no, that's not right. Gosh, that's going back way too far. 2023, I left my job as a lunchtime supervisor and I went to university. I went to university to train to become a midwife. And I did it. I have gotten 3 years into the course. Well, just gone into my 3rd year. But due to one thing and another and my health and little bits and pieces that were going on, I have decided I did withdraw from the course at the end of last year. I've got no regrets whatsoever. I've learned a hell of a lot. I've seen a lot, worked in the hospitals, on different parts of the maternity unit, delivered 9 babies myself personally with my mentor at the side. Learned loads about myself as well, but at the end of the day it just wasn't necessarily for me. Not something that I could see myself doing for the rest of my kind of working career, if you like. So yeah, so that's where I've been anyhow. I'm not really going to go into too much details about it because it'll just get me riled up and a bit cross. For anyone that is in the UK and knows what our NHS system is like at the moment, and yeah, that's all I'm going to say on that because this is a happy place. But yeah, so that's where I've been, but hopefully I am going to be back with an sorry, words escape me. an episode every 2 weeks, because it's been quite a lot to share. As the first episode back, I've had like a whole month's worth of making and different things, and I don't know if people like longer podcasts or shorter ones. I'm happy to do whatever, so just leave your comments down below. Positive criticism, if you will, if you think I can change anything, improve anything, because this is like the first one after a big break. I know I'm very much out of practice. The sun needs to make its mind up what it wants to do as well. I'm having to like lean down like this. Yeah, so hopefully I will be back with regular podcasts every fortnight. I am also on social media, TikTok, Instagram. I've got my little shop on Etsy. I have my website. I do also have my little shop on eBay as well. So I will link it all below, and I'll put a slide in at the end. If you would like to see any more of what I do, any more of what I get up to, or if you just get enjoyment out of watching a awkward woman fumble her way through a podcast, give me a like, a thumbs up, share the love, subscribe. Only if you want to, of course. There's no pressure. There's never any pressure. It'd be really cool though if I could kind of, get my subscribers kind of. I got a few from before, and that's amazing actually. Because you always think when you do these videos, oh, no one's going to watch me, I don't want to make a fool of myself, and I am like that all of the time. It's took me about 2 weeks to actually sit and do this, which I don't really know why, because it's not like someone's asking me to go and like mine for coal, or I've got to go and feed the lions in the blooming desert or something. It's just sitting and sharing what I'm working with you lovely people, like-minded people as well. Because as the only female in my house, I've got my husband, and then I got 3 boys. There's no kind of none of them are crafty minded like me. They're all technology and computers and spreadsheets and whatnot. So, but I have my sister, who is also knitting and crochet crazy. So we do a lot of stuff together, which is really awesome. So yeah, I'm going to stop rambling now because this is getting really silly. But thank you so much just for popping on, spending some time with me, listening to me jibber jabbering about this, that and the other, showing my stuff, sharing it with you. And I will hopefully, so I'm accountable, and you guys can say, no, you said you were going to do it. I will be back in 2 weeks with another podcast, showing my making for the first 2 weeks in February. I hope to have some fingerless mitts and things this time to share, or next time to share with you. Definitely more progress on my own whips as well. I am now on TikTok also, which is something new to me. So I have started to make little TikToks and things. So if you've got a spare second, just pop over. If you've got TikTok, find me, Stels Crafty Creations, and just like you can leave a comment on the bottom of here or on the bottom of the TikTok. Just let me know what you think. Is it ridiculous? Is it okay? Is it good? Because I know that TikTok's a young person's place. I'm not necessarily massively old, but I am middle-aged. Is it the place to be? I'm just making a fool out of myself. But then even if I am, there's no big deal with that, is there? If you don't like it, you can just scroll on, can't you? Anyway, right, less jibber jabber from me. I'm going to say bye now, leave you all to it. I'll link everything I can down below. I will pop a slide at the end with all my contact details and everything. So in the meantime, take care. Happy crafting, whatever that craft looks like for you, and I'll see you next time. Bye.